increase the frequency of positive, deep change in society, we need to begin with our youth. As they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. People today have become selfish and are not self-aware. When individuals are not self-aware, they don't think of others and their emotions because they aren't even thinking about their own. If we begin changing the selfish societal mindset of today with our youth, they will grow up with a changed, more open-minded one. According to Gould, there are several spiritual and psychological strategies that can be used in deep change. Journaling and self-reflecting are the main ones discussed in this presentation. Why is self-reflection so important, you ask? Here are a few different testimonies of people expressing why they believe it is important.
Self-reflection is important because it allows us to truly look at ourselves as well as our actions. It allows us to see how those things have affected others. Without self-reflection, we wouldn't be able to understand our worth, nor how to improve ourselves as people. I believe journalism is also important. I feel as though it is a way for us to let out our emotions and our everyday stress in a way that is most sacred to us. It is important for us to be able to reflect on our actions and our own thoughts. Children can benefit from both of these things because it is a way for them to understand how their actions affect other people, as well as a way for them to find matter within themselves.
That reflections through a journal is beneficial to young children because they can write down their emotions and their thoughts and have a logical order of what they're feeling at the time. They can come to grips with what's going on in their lives and be able to communicate that more effectively by writing it down and just having that with them. If they're ever confused or don't know what they're thinking at the time, they can just look at the journal. It also helps them just have a physical representation of what they've been feeling throughout their life. So it's very beneficial, I would say.
Beginning in elementary school, students go to a homeroom advisor class at least once a week, if not every day, normally for announcement-like information in which no one listens to anyway, which takes up about 5 minutes. Then the students are simply sitting there wasting time. Instead of having this spare time to sit and gossip with friends, students could be doing something productive and good for themselves, unlike the students in this video. Which leads me to my solution. If children were encouraged to do things such as self-reflection, they would know themselves and be able to recognize emotions better throughout life, regarding themselves and others. Simply teaching and encouraging these techniques as a homeroom exercise throughout grade school would be an easy way to make sure the idea got to our next generation's train of thought. Students could use an online journaling account that was password protected so they would feel they had the privacy for their own personal thoughts. Students could do this journaling once a week in their homeroom and be encouraged to do it outside of class every other day. Expressing their thoughts and emotions will allow them to self-reflect and truly think about their actions throughout the week. In each journal entry, aside from information each student wanted to reflect about, they would be required to discuss one positive thing that happened to them as well as one negative thing. This way, they could reflect on many different emotions and how those actions affected others. Later in schooling, as students got older and more interested in technology and social media, they could channel their journaling into a blog. Blogging is huge in today's social scene. It would allow them to not only express themselves and self-reflect, but they could share their thoughts and emotions with others who are likely going through all the same things.
As an education major, I feel the idea of using self-reflection and online blogging is a great idea and can be quite beneficial to students in both high school and in middle school. To have no downtime in, say, your homeroom or anything like that, you can allow the students to get online and vent about something they've had happen to them that week, such as a bad experience, a good experience, or because, I mean, you don't know what kind of emotions people are going through, so everybody's going through a different thing. So therefore, this could help them just kind of release what they want and give potential for other people to comment back to them or talk to them, because not everyone is as social face-to-face as they could be online. So it could be quite beneficial for that. However, there could be a con to it, which could be you're always going to have those students that are going to be sitting there not taking it seriously or making a joke of it, but then they're not benefiting themselves, so can't help those who can't help themselves, I assume. Also, whenever you have a student that's just that always has something bad going on, say their emotional state is just completely sad or something bad's going on in their life, this will give them a way to release it and not let it bottle up, because once you start bottling up emotions, it's just a snowball effect that just keeps on going, and you're not going to come out of it ahead. So in general, I feel like there's more pros to blogging than there is to cons, and this should be something that we should put into effect into modern day educational systems.
As students get older, it is harder for teachers to encourage and convince their students that anything educational is fun. This is a way they could do that. Just as every teenager would check their Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and make their daily post, they could check their blog and make a post. Just another way of staying connected with friends. Although there are some barriers to this. Student cooperation isn't guaranteed, and they aren't guaranteed to be honest in their blogs. Also, environmental factors outside of school could restrain students from participating in this self-reflection to their fullest. Although, because of the social networking populous aspect of it, it would make it easier to accomplish. Almost every school has computer access for students, so that would not be an issue normally as well. In order to develop this deep change program, I intend on sending a letter to the U.S. Department of Education. This letter would explain the problems of the absence of empathy growing in society, as well as how the increase of positive deep change in our youth could greatly improve our society over time. Included would be an explanation of the self-reflection journaling strategies that would help us change our dispositions. Also discussed would be the intended targets, school-aged children, and how these strategies would be introduced into the school systems. In conclusion, this deep change program could greatly change our dispositions in a positive way. Beginning in early grade school, this program would allow students to participate in self-reflection techniques. These techniques will encourage the youth to have a more open mind, empathetic viewpoint, and be less selfish overall because of their self-awareness. I fully believe that this program would gradually have a positive impact in our society. In the words of Whitney Houston, I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess.